Let me tell you about the systems used by powerful countries to control Africa. France and the CFA France. 14 African countries still use a currency controlled by France called the CFA France. Half of these countries' money is kept in the French treasury. France charges us to use our own money. Every year $500 billion in resources flows from Africa to France. When France gives $10 billion in aid, you make it big news. But you don't talk about the $500 billion they take. Britain and money laundering. London is the world center for hiding stolen money. Africa's wealth is moved through places like Jersey, Guernsey, the Cayman Islands and the Virgin Islands, all controlled by Britain. You don't write about this. America and military control. The US has 46 military bases in Africa through its Africa Command. They say it's for security, but it's really about controlling our resources. Drones fly over our skies every day watching us. They say they're fighting terrorists, but they target leaders who stand up for Africa. China's new game. China says they want to help Africa by building roads and giving loans, but in return they take 99-year contracts for our ports, mines and farmland. Countries like Sri Lanka and Zambia are now trapped in debt to China. Is this really win-win? You don't write about these things because you're not free. You're controlled by billionaires. Jeff Bezos owns the Washington Post. Rupert Murdoch controls Fox News, the Wall Street Journal and the Times. Carlos Slim, a Mexican billionaire, is a major shareholder in the New York Times. These people didn't get rich by helping Africa. They got rich by exploiting places like Africa and Latin America. Your editors come from elite schools like Harvard, Yale, Oxford and Cambridge. They share the same ideas and biases. Your reporters in Africa often don't speak our languages, like Swahili, Hausa, Yoruba or Amharic. They can't talk to our people, so they rely on Western diplomats and NGOs for information. How can you call that fair reporting? The heroes they silenced. Let me tell you about the African leaders you've ignored or lied about. Patrice Lumumba, he was the leader of Congo, killed on January 17, 1961. The CIA and Belgian mercenaries were involved. They dissolved his body in acid and kept his teeth as souvenirs. In 2022, Belgium returned one tooth to his family after 61 years. You called it chaos in Congo, but didn't investigate the killers, or Belgium's crimes. Thomas Sankara, he was my hero, the leader of Burkina Faso, killed on October 15th. Sankara vaccinated 2.5 million children, planted 10 million trees, raised literacy from 13% to 73%, gave women equal rights, banned harmful practices, and fought corruption. He refused to pay Africa's unfair debts to the West. France supported his killer, Blaise Compaoré. You called it a military coup, but didn't tell the world about Sankara's dreams, or successes. Muammar Gaddafi. Yes, he was a dictator, but he did a lot for Libya. Under him, Libya had a high income, free healthcare, free education, and cheap fuel. He built a huge irrigation project to make the desert green. His biggest dream was a united Africa, with its own bank and currency. He was killed on October 20th, 2011, after NATO attacked Libya. Hillary Clinton laughed about it. Now Libya has 3 governments, civil war, and even slave markets. You call this democracy? These leaders were killed because they stood up for Africa. They wanted us to control our own wealth and future, but you didn't tell their stories. You called them dictators, or said their countries were chaotic. You didn't show their successes, or ask who was behind their deaths.
Don't skip this message, please share it.